Hi there, I'm Vicky Parfano for Aussie Stampers, and on today's tutorial I'm going to show you how you can use spray can paint on Yupo and get some of these really interesting effects. I love using Yupo and I love finding all kinds of different ways to use it. Now these are your regular spray cans, so I went along to the hardware store and I bought some spray can paint. This is oil-based spray paint. And look at the lovely effects you can get with it. It's just beautiful, really, really nice. And it's a little bit like marbling, I guess. I've done marbling with paint before, but this is something unique for Yupo. So you can see the lovely colours that are coming through. This is red and teal and black. And the white that's underneath is the Yupo that's showing through. Now, if you want to try this technique, just a couple of safety precautions. You may want to use rubber gloves and you may want to use one of those disposable masks. I created these outdoors, so I can't really show you the technique as I'm doing it, but I will explain it for you as best I can. This is red, gold and teal on a large scale piece of Yupo, and there's a little bit of black left over from the pull that I did before this one. So you'll need a tray of water and you'll spray the paint directly onto the water and then lay the Yupo on top. And then after a second or two, you just pull the Yupo up. This is gold with a beautiful soft silver. It's really subtle, this one of my favorites. I really do love it. And you can see the way the oil paint just sticks on the surface and creates these lovely marbled effects. It has a lot of movement. No two are the same. It's one of those styles of art that is really going to just do what it wants to do. You can't particularly direct it. My tips if you're trying this would be just to give a wide sweep of spray onto your tray of water or your water bath, and that helps get things moving. You just lay the paper directly on. You don't have to move the paper around because the paint itself is swirling around in the water just by virtue of having been sprayed out of the spray can. This is teal, red, gold, a little bit of black through there, very small amount of black because I had cleaned the water bath before I put this one in it. But I just love the effects that you get. Now you could do this on a small scale piece of Yupo. If you wanted to, that would be easier to manage with a small water bath. You just need a rectangular plastic container, fill it up probably about 10 centimetres deep with water. That's all you need. And then just give a sweep of spray in a couple of places, then change to the next colour, then change to the next colour, and then lay your Yupo on. Now when you've finished, you can do all kinds of things with this. I was having fun with some Posca pens and some Liquitex paint pens on this and just drawing a design and squiggling some faces on top just as an experiment to see what I could do. But you can see all the colours that are coming out of that. This one I just collaged some magazine pictures on, and I thought it looked like an undersea picture, so I chose a couple of squid to put on it, and those lines were formed with simple quilling paper that I bent into shape and glued on with gel matte medium so that I could create an actual picture out of that. Now today I'm going to show you a different way to use one of the pieces that I've cut down, and I'm going to put it in my 6x6 inch art journal. And I have a couple of little die cuts that I've cut out with coaster board, which is a beautiful soft cream colour which is going to match the background. Now I have some gel matte medium and a nice thick brush, and I'm just going to adhere that Yupo into my art journal. So the Yupo is going in, and I've cut it down to fit. And that's going to be the basis for this little art journal piece. This was one of the larger pieces cut down. You can see the gorgeous colours in here. It's almost like sand and water. But in this instance, I wanted to create sky. So this coaster board that I have cut these die cuts from is really quite thick. It's a lovely cream colour. And I'm going to add some black die cutting underneath to give it like a drop shadow effect so that it stands out much more strongly on the page and ties into those little pieces of black paint that are showing through just here and there, those little splatters of black paint. So these are the Expressions thinlits from Stampinup and the Birds and Blooms thinlits. And the little branch, I can't remember where that's from. I know it's a Sizzix die though, and I've had it for a long time. So I'm just going to run the black pieces, these are regular cardstock, through the Big Shot die cutting machine. And I'm going to lay them as a drop shadow underneath those cream coaster board die cuts. Now you can see the comparison here with the black die cut, particularly that thin word. It's quite flimsy when you pick it up, as opposed to the lovely coaster board. So you can see how flimsy that is, whereas the coaster board's holding its shape quite well. I would say the coaster board is twice as thick as regular cardstock. Now I'm just going to line it up, and it's not particularly perfectly lined up. I don't really want that. I don't want it to look too perfect. I want it to look as though there's bits of shadow and bits of the cream showing through. And I was really having a lot of trouble with this gel matte medium because it's a really old bottle that I've had for a long time. It's starting to get dry and thick, and it's a Derivan Matisse matte medium, so it's not a very expensive brand. I much prefer the Dinah Wakely matte medium or some of the more expensive brands that I have. This just happened to be the one that I had on my desk, and I think I'm probably going to throw it away after this because it was just giving me problems. That regular gel matte medium is much smoother than this. It has a thinner viscosity, whereas this was really starting to feel like it was thick and drying out, and I even had to put a little bit of water on it, on the brush, to kind of water it down so that it would be able to move around the page. So you can see, yes, I'm just going to wash that down now before it dries. But that's how the finished article looks, and I like that drop shadow effect. You can see the bird looks black behind all those feathers that have been cut out, and it makes a lovely art journal page. So that's one of the ways that I have used the spray can paints with Yupo. I have a couple of other ways I have used them coming up in future videos. So I hope that gives you some food for thought and that you might try using regular spray cans on Yupo. Here are some more videos that you might enjoy from the Art Journal collection. Bye for now.